What's up, guys? Raziel here, and I originally wasn't going to do this video, but a lot of people in my streams have been popping in asking me what were my thoughts on Blizzcon and the changes coming to World of Warcraft, in addition to the announcements they made. So I might as well just make a video about it, just to, nip it in the bud. So it's a bit late, but let's do the drop and let's talk about this shit.
I am Raziel.
All right, so BlizzCon is finished last week, in fact, and we got quite a few announcements. So I'm not going to talk so much about all the announcements because a lot of them I don't really give a fuck about, to be honest. But as much as shit that I give Blizzard and any company for that matter that makes a shitty product or is doing us dirty or is being lazy, I'm also going to give credit where credit is due. And it turns out that what we learned from WoW and from a couple other projects, Blizzard is actually listening. Again, go back to one of my videos a long time ago where I said it's because at this point, Blizzard kind of has to if they want anything to succeed. Now, of course, one of my first loves ever, Diablo 2, is getting remade, or I guess remastered, and Diablo 2 Resurrected. And a sign that they're actually listening is the fact that they learned from Warcraft 3 Reforged, one of the biggest pieces of shit ever made, and I think it still holds the record for lowest Metacritic score ever. They're now making sure that Diablo 2 is separate from the original Diablo 2, so it's not going to replace the old game if people don't like the new one. So there's something there. I'm not going to talk about, they revealed the new rogue class in Diablo 4. I'm going to judge Diablo 4 when it gets a lot closer to release. I don't really give a shit right now, especially after the nightmare that was Diablo 3. But there's quite a few things that they revealed in the World of Warcraft panel that is showing that they're really starting to listen. Now, before people, shit their pants and go crazy about, balance, because we know balance in the game is not the greatest it's ever been right now. And there's a lot of other problems with the game, such as PvP being completely broken in a lot of cases. There are some positives here too, some silver linings. I'm going to try to be the good guy here, all right? I'm going to play devil's advocate and talk, actually give Blizzard some praise for what they showed on some things. Now, of course, there was the big reveal of the Chains of Domination 9.1 patch. And story-wise, it's shit, let's be honest. I mean, Lich King-esque Anduin, but again, so few people play WoW for the lore. It's been bad for a long time. The storytelling is bad, it's just how it is. I don't play WoW for the lore. I play for PvP and to play with friends and to raid, essentially. If I'm interested in lore, I'll play Final Fantasy XIV or some other MMORPG. But I digress. So what are my thoughts concerning what we saw? Well, first of all, I want to talk about what we have learned recently, not through BlizzCon, but about patch 9.0.5, and they're making some pretty big changes because squeaky wheel gets the oil or the grease or whatever. Squeaky wheel gets choked out if you're into BDSM.
That's really fucked up.
I don't know, but what happens here is we're getting the Mythic Plus changes where they're adding Valor into the game, Valor systems, and actually incentivizing doing Mythic Plus if that's what you're into, which hasn't been in the game thus far. A huge drop ball by Blizzard, in my opinion, that Mythic Plus released with the reward system that's there. Same with rating, but we're going to get into that when we talk about 9.1. But a lot of people are going to complain and freak out because a lot of the balance changes they're doing, both to covenants and classes in 9.0.5 is so low, but you have to understand that they have to do it that way because it's still the first season of WoW for this expansion. And if they do huge class overhauls, which I think they have plans for, it's going to really fuck things up, especially since the raid tier is pretty much over. They want to wait until a big patch makes sweeping changes. And I will say that having leveled an alternate character on the Threads of Fate that they're added was a huge success. Threads of Fate is a great thing that's been added to WoW, and it's a really good way, especially to catch up, especially when we live in a world where endgame is all that really matters in MMOs these days. Something I don't like, but it is what it is. We have to eat that shit sandwich. But 9.1, Chains of Domination. Expect huge sweeping balance changes across multiple classes and specs, as well as multiple covenants and covenant class combinations. I think we're going to see a lot of that coming up, and I could say that can only be a good thing. Again, balance is going to be their hardest thing to do in this expansion because there are so many systems to balance, which means we're also going to see a lot of legendary changes as well. Now, where I'm saying Blizzard is listening, because we see what they did with Mythic Plus, the huge changes they're doing there. And they also said that in 9.1, they are going to be releasing a change to loot and how the reward system happens in raiding. Because right now, getting raid drops, even after their buff, most recent buff to the raid, is still pretty pathetic. You don't get drops a lot. I wish they'd just bring back Master Loot, but, you know, that's apparently, you know, too logical of an explanation and solution to fix a problem, but it is what it is. But we're going to see some PvP gearing changes they hinted at, such as continuously being able to upgrade your honor gear even further past once the new season starts, so you don't have to grind out whole new gear. You just keep upgrading gear as the seasons go on. They did mention that tier sets are coming, not in 9.1, but we're probably going to see tier sets in 9.2. The Mega Dungeon, which was really successful in BFA from I don't have a lot of personal experience with it, but a lot of people loved Mechagon. They thought it was really great. A Mega Dungeon 8, it's kind of a mini raid. Reminds me a lot of like Burning Crusade, the original Karazhan. Speaking of Burning Crusade, we also got the announcement of Burning Crusade Classic, which of course I will definitely play because Burning Crusade was my favorite part of WoW. And obviously I think I'll burn out soon on it. I don't think I'm going to go hard. Same thing I did with Classic WoW, because I've been there, done that. But expect to see a lot of changes in 9.1, and I think changes for the better. Again, we're going to be seeing raid loot change. We'll probably get a Valor or point system similar to we had in like Wrath of the Lich King days. We've already seen the Mythic Plus changes that they're doing, and those will probably be improved on in 9.1. The PvP gearing changes, because up till now, PvP gear has been the best and easiest way to get high item level gear, which for people who don't like PvP is not good, so that's changing. The promise of tier sets, the Mega Dungeon, more Covenant balance and class balance is going to be huge in 9.1. But we don't have a release date for 9.1 yet. And if I had to predict, I would say the very earliest, and this is not going to happen, but the very earliest you see it is last week of May, but I think it's more likely going to be the middle to end of June when we see 9.1. So, I will give credit where credit is due. They're clearly listening. Every big change that they say that is coming out in 9.1 and the big changes that are in 9.05 are all a result of people's concerns and complaining about endgame gearing and things like that. Again, when you push a company into the corner, they kind of are forced to do what they have to in order to make things happen. Now, Blizzard is still corrupt to the core. I still don't trust them as far as I could throw them. But overall, I think these are some really good changes. This BlizzCon was remarkably better than the infamous Diablo Immortal announcement BlizzCon, which was a complete fucking nightmare. And, many BlizzCons before where they kind of just phoned it in. This time they had to do it. The one thing I will say I didn't like about the small snippets of BlizzCon that I caught was the constant virtue signaling that was going on, for fuck's sake, but whatever. Let's talk about friendship and unity. Fucking God. Anyway, what are your thoughts, guys? What do you think about, what did you guys think about BlizzCon? What did you think about, do you think that Blizzard's going to deliver on the things they talked about? Do you think it's going to improve the game? I personally think it's going to improve the game. I'm still having fun in the game as well, but I'm starting to pick back up Final Fantasy 14 a bit and play that as well, which I'm doing on my Twitch streams now. We're also I'm adding in some other games. We just finished Little Nightmares 1 and 2, so if you have a suggestion for a game you'd like to see me play, come say hi on my Twitch. Come follow me. No subscribers or anything like that is required. No donations, anything like that. Just come hang out, have a good time. We have some drinks and we have a toxic time over there. Just pure toxic masculinity over there on my Twitch page, which is on the screen now.
You're fucking a white male!
But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts down below? If you don't like them, that's fine. Just go fuck yourself. I don't care. And as always, my friends, keep it real.